When you release your own adult stem cells, you support the body's natural renewal system. But what if your released stem cells can't get to where they need to go? Enter patent-pending StemFlo, which supports your circulatory system. Let's join Stemtech's Vice President of Training and Product Development, Dr. Donna Antar, a respected medical doctor with a strong understanding of natural alternatives. She holds a master's degree in exercise physiology. It has been said that Dr. Donna makes wellness fun. Let's listen as this published author and highly sought-after national and international speaker shares her knowledge of StemFlo.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and thank you for taking the time to be here today. And I know that this is going to be well worth your time, and we're going to be talking about a very exciting product, a circulation enhancer called StemFlo. So let's talk about how it fits in with all of our stem cell physiology and why it's needed. Well, first of all, in your stem cell physiology, you do multiple things. Stem cells need to be released from the bone marrow. Stem cell trafficking, what is trafficking? Just means to move around. They need to get places, and the way they get places is through the blood. It's our mechanism for getting cells from one part of the body to the other. And then they need to be recruited. Once they get to the tissues, they need to be taken up by the tissues and get into the tissues. Then, of course, once they get there, we know that there's not enough stem cells in the bone marrow to create all of the different stem cells and the rejuvenation that we see going on in the tissues, so we know that they have to make more of themselves. That's what proliferate means. And then they have to differentiate. What does differentiate mean? It means to turn themselves into the cells of that specific tissue. And that's the whole picture. That's how the whole thing works. So let's talk about what is the important parts of the physiology that we know is able to be optimized. Because stem cell proliferation and stem cell differentiation kind of just happens. It happens very well. It doesn't seem to be a limiting factor. But what some of the limiting factors are is the release from the bone marrow, the trafficking, meaning the getting there, and then the recruitment by the tissues and migration. And Stem Enhance really focuses and answers and gives the body what it needs to support release from the bone marrow and also recruitment by the tissues and migration. Where we now have a need is with the trafficking, meaning getting there, having the circulation be optimized. Now, this is not something that was just thought of yesterday. This is something that Christian Drapeau and his research team had spent 4 or 5 years in the making, putting this product together and making it such an important part of our overall support of our stem cell physiology. So StemFlo is all about circulation. And why is that so important? Because your blood delivers the stem cells to the tissues. That's what your blood does. It also delivers oxygen and nutrients to the tissues. And when that flow is impaired, you create issues. You know, the body is all about balance. It's all about creating an optimum balance, not too much of this, not too much of that, but a true balance of everything that needs to happen in our physiology. And that's what StemFlo is about, is optimizing our circulatory system. So let's talk a little bit about what normal circulation is. What is that? Here's a diagram that you'd find in like a physiology book. It goes from the lungs, and the lung oxygenates the blood, and then that goes into the left side of the heart, and then that goes out into the arteries, and then the arteries get smaller, and that's the arterioles, and then it goes into the capillaries. And the capillaries is where all the action happens. That is the most important part of your circulatory system, because that's where the exchange of nutrients happens. That's where your body also gets rid of toxins and metabolic waste. And that post-capillary venule is the most vital part of this whole system, because that's the only place where stem cells can get into the tissues from being in the circulation. Let's look at that capillary section just a little bit bigger. We're going to blow it up for you here. You go from your bigger arteries, and then you go into the capillaries, and then you go into those post-capillary venules. And that's where all of the metabolic exchange happens. Let me show you what that means in a very simple diagram. So if the top part is your blood, and that blue circle is your stem cells, if your tissue is stressed, see that line there? That's the cells of the vessel, your capillary wall there. That tissue releases little cytokines, little messengers. Those messengers make the stem cell attach, roll on the vessel wall, and then go in between the cells. Now it gets into the tissue. And now it can migrate, meaning get to where the tissue needs assistance with renewal and rejuvenation. So the most important part only happens in the postcapillary venule. An example is if you have a train and you're going along on the track, if your blood is like the train and the train is carrying oxygen, it's carrying nutrients, it's carrying cells, red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and stem cells, the only way that you can actually release, get off the train, get out of the blood flow and into the tissues is in the postcapillary venule. We're talking about keeping a balance in the body so that everything works the best it can possibly work. That's how we feel great. The body's not working the best. It may not be an illness or a disease, but you may not feel so great. Your quality of life will suffer. Well, one of the things that you have to put in balance is your clotting mechanism. And your clotting mechanism is a delicate balance. Everybody knows that when they cut themselves, you're going to make a little clot. It's the body's normal mechanism. Well, part of that mechanism is a little protein called fibrin that you see at the top there, and you see it kind of has these little arms. When thrombin, this molecule thrombin comes, it cleaves those arms, and what happens then, all those little fibrin molecules can now stick to each other. They basically kind of pack down and stick to each other. When that happens, you get like a mesh. And in the case of a cut, and what you'll see there is right there in that little patch, you've got the clot. That, along with some other mechanisms, is what stops the flow, is what makes the little patch. That's what's supposed to happen. But what's supposed to happen is when it happens in other places. It's not supposed to just happen anywhere. It's only supposed to happen when your body needs it. And again, that's this concept of balance. If your blood circulation is, why would that be? Well, if you have too many free radicals in your whole physiology, and what makes free radicals? Most of you here have heard of the term free radicals. What makes free radicals is pollution, toxins, chemicals. Now, the body just doesn't know what to do with these chemicals, so it just sort of tries to store them or get rid of them. And what happens is those chemicals create oxidative stress, and oxidative stress creates more free radicals. Those free radicals do something that they're not supposed to do. What they do is they cleave those little arms. Remember those little arms that only thrombin was supposed to cleave off so that you can make the mesh and make the patch? Well, what happens is those free radicals also cleave the arms off. Not supposed to be doing that. If you only have a little bit of free radicals, which you are supposed to have, remember it's a balance, it's not no free radicals, you're only supposed to have a little bit, then this doesn't happen. But when you have too many, you have so much oxidative stress in the body and in the blood, these are the kind of things that happen. And so what happens is the free radicals create the cleaving and you get the mesh. Now the mesh doesn't have a purpose. It's not supposed to be doing that. So you have that same mesh and now the flow is kind of gunked up, so to speak, because it's got almost like these little tumbleweeds of this mesh along with cells and other things. So let's take a look under the microscope. I want you to get an idea of how blood flows when it's really healthy. Not too many free radicals, everything going smooth, no extra fibrin being created. So what happens? The blood is really flowing, and you can see how quickly that it goes through those capillaries. And remember, those capillaries are really, really small, but that you can only actually go one cell at a time through capillaries. They're something like 3/10,000ths of an inch big. That's how small they are. Only one cell at a time can actually go through. And so if you see an impaired blood circulation, what you'll notice is, God, you see how much slower that is? See how they just sort of putt along? They don't flow like they're supposed to. Now, do you think you can feel that? No, probably not. But do you think that when it's happening in all sorts of different areas of your body, that little by little, your body can kind of tell because now you're getting out of balance. And even though you can't necessarily feel that, it does make a difference in your quality of life. It'll make a difference in little things that don't come up as something bad in a medical exam or anything I could pick up in tests, but it is something that affects the ability for your body to function optimally, and that's what we're all after. Remember, your tissues are no more than probably 2 or 3 cells away from a capillary. That's how the nutrients happen. That's how those tissues stay healthy. So here it is, all your stem cells are flowing to where they need to flow, and at that postcapillary venule area, they're going to start flowing out. They're going to go out into the tissues. Basically, they're getting off the train, right? They're getting off the train and they're going to the tissues so now that they can renew and rejuvenate those tissues. So with StemFlo, you know now it can make a difference in your body's ability to function correctly because it can digest the fibrin mesh. It also prevents the formation of fibrin, and it supports blood circulation. And not only that, but it helps to purify the blood. So let's talk about how do you make it so that your body is back in its optimum balance. Fibrinoase is the combination of nutrients in StemFlo that digest the fibrin mesh. It restores the normal capillary blood flow and also delivery, obviously, of the nutrients, the stem cells, and everything else that your body needs. Now, when it gets blocked, it's not something so dramatic like, I don't want you to think that this is like, when you block a big vessel, like in a heart attack or a stroke or anything like that. It's not what we're talking about. We're talking about things that are just a little bit not perfect. And again, it's not something that we can really pick up on any kind of medical test. It's not something that we're going to see that clearly, but we know that if the body has too much oxidative stress, it's happening. An amazing antioxidant, and it's been known for a long time, is cat's claw. What you see here, this is Christian Drapeau with the collaborators on the farm where we get our cat's claw. Now, mangosteen. This tree that you see here is 150 years old. This is an organic farm in Thailand, and that is our supplier. We have the most potent mangosteen that is available because we don't just go ahead and pick a nutrient. We test all the different types till we find the one that's the best, and that is the one we put into StemFlo. And berry extracts. People have heard of grapeseed extract, but you may not have heard so much about grape skin extract, and they've actually found that grape skin is even more potent and more important than grape seed. So we have both in Stem Enhance. Not just grape seed and grape skin, but also elderberry and black currant. And there is a Chinese herb called Rehmannia. It has been known for a very long time that it just assists, it supports optimal hemodynamics, meaning helps fluids flow, and in this case, it would be our blood, helps them flow even better. That's the reason that Rehmannia is part of StemFlo. And then, of course, we talked about detoxifying the blood. So one thing that we have is something called pyrrolite clay. This clay is very valuable because not only does it have tremendous antioxidant properties, so it does go and support all of the other antioxidants in StemFlo, but it also has tremendous detoxification properties. And so it's very good at absorbing toxins, at helping the blood detoxify itself and taking out the garbage so that our body can be as optimal as possible. And curcumin. Why is curcumin in this product? Well, curcumin also is a tremendous antioxidant. It's a natural antibiotic. And one of the main reasons for it being in StemFlo is because it is tremendous at helping the body eliminate garbage, eliminate the toxins. Well, what curcumin does is it helps with that process. It helps make that process faster. If you can clear it and absorb it with curcumin and then get it to the liver or the kidneys, wherever it's going to be excreted and released from the system, then you'll have less of the sensation, less of the feelings of the detoxification. And obviously that's better because the faster you can get out the garbage, the better, right? If you just took out the garbage really slowly and walked through the room, it would be a lot worse than if you just quickly ran through the room and got it out of there. So that's kind of the concept and why curcumin is such a vital thing besides its benefit of being a natural antibiotic, amazing antioxidant, and also helps keep the balance of inflammation healthy in your body too. So we have with StemFlo an amazing product. It's got multiple nutrients, and they're put together in such a way that they support preventing and eliminating fibrin. Now, your body's still going to make fibrin and do its normal clotting thing when it needs to, but it's not going to do it when it doesn't. And it supports optimum blood flow. So now your blood is going to do its job. So the body is the most amazing machine because of the way it interacts with each other. And StemFlo helps to keep that all working as smoothly as possible. So who do you think should take StemFlo? Why would you recommend it to somebody? Well, if they're already taking Stem Enhance, then you definitely want to let them know about StemFlo. Because everybody needs good antioxidant support. If you don't get antioxidant support and good proteolytic enzyme support and good detoxification, you're just not going to work as good as you can. And if we could just live in an environment that had no toxins, it wouldn't be as important, but that's just, that place doesn't exist anymore on the planet. So you want anyone that wants optimum health, and so it's for everyone. So what is the best way to take StemFlo? Well, you want to take about 3 capsules once or twice a day. And that's why there's 90 in a bottle. If you take it once a day, that's a month's supply. And what I like is you don't need a ton. 3 capsules once or twice a day, you're going to get amazing antioxidant protection because this product is very concentrated. An important point here is between meals. Why is that? It's because of the proteolytic enzymes, because of the enzymes in fibrinoase. Those enzymes work best if there's not food around, because you know what they do is they digest protein, right? So if you've got food in your gut, it's going to digest the food instead of going and doing what it wants to do to digest a little fibrin in your blood. So that's why you want to take it in between meals. And of course with Stem Enhance. Stem Enhance can be taken with StemFlo. It won't interfere, it won't digest it or anything like that. Stem Enhance is such an easily absorbable nutrient, it won't interfere with the fibrinoase. So does our product have gluten or dairy or preservatives or coloring? Absolutely not. And what should people expect? What should they, they're taking it. What do you think they should notice? One, they're getting an amazing, powerful antioxidant nutrition. They should have definitely improved blood flow. Now, will they be able to feel that? Maybe, maybe not. Just depends on the person and depends on their state of health. And by far, this is all about taking you to the next level of feeling wonderful, of feeling strong, vital, being able to do anything you want to do and having nothing about your health inhibit that, nothing. You should be able to focus on what you want to focus, be able to take up a new sport if you want to, at any age. And StemFlo is all about optimizing your health and your circulation and therefore your stem cell physiology along with Stem Enhance. When introducing new people, you should let them know about StemFlo because Stem Enhance is our flagship product, but as you can see, StemFlo is a very powerful product that's been years in the making with incredible nutrients as part of its whole makeup. Don't forget athletes, because so many people forget. They go, oh, well, they're not just in good shape, they're in great shape because they're athletes. If anybody will notice an improvement in their health, an optimization of their whole body, an athlete will notice that. And athletes also have a tremendous need for a product like StemFlo. And of course, healthy people. Don't forget, if you talk to somebody and when we're out there and we're talking about StemFlo and Stem Enhance, sometimes somebody might say to you, oh, well, I don't need that, I'm healthy. Well, that's the whole point, is you want to stay healthy. And what does that actually mean anyway? When somebody says they're healthy, does that mean that they're perfect? Do you think they don't have any little tumbleweeds, little fibrin in them? They don't know. I can tell you that as a physician, what I've seen is that most people don't understand is their health is like an iceberg. Symptoms, things that you can feel, that's the tip of the iceberg. Things that I could pick up as a medical doctor on an exam, that's the tip of the iceberg. Everything going on underneath, all these little things that are a little bit out of balance and the body's trying to correct it and you're doing good nutrition and doing things to help the body get the body back in balance, all those things you don't even know are happening. And you want those to start going in the right direction toward optimal health and optimum balance. So we are a highly scientific company here at Stemtech, and that's what attracted me to this company. I am a medical doctor. I need to know that there's evidence, that we collaborate with people on what we're talking about. We went to independent person who is an expert in microcirculation, and here's the kind of thing that they said after looking at all our data that we can say. StemFlo supports the optimum blood circulation by digesting fibrin, reducing oxidative stress in the blood, detoxifying the blood, and improving overall blood flow. We can make that claim. It's very important. We can also make another claim. We can say that StemFlo is especially designed to support the delivery of stem cells to all parts of the body. And when used in conjunction with Stem Enhance, it optimizes the body's ability to deliver and circulate the adult stem cells to the tissues and the organs where needed. That's huge. That is a huge claim that we can make because it really shows how this product supports our stem cell system. And finally, StemFlo supports the delivery of nutrients and oxygen, as well as immune cells throughout the whole body. So it's certainly about stem cells. Of course, it's about our own adult stem cells. That is our natural renewal system, our system that rejuvenates all of our other systems. But it also supports the circulatory system, which interacts with everything, and it all fits together, and that's what you're looking for. And this product is such a breakthrough in everything, and it's in one bottle. It's easy to take, it's simple, and it's something that can make a tremendous impact on your state of health. Thank you.